A best haircut for older women after 60. Why the French bob is taking over. Maybe you haven't thought about your haircut in a while. You've worn it the same way for years. It's familiar, it's simple, it gets the job done. But lately, every time you run a brush through it or glance in the mirror before heading out, there's a quiet feeling you can't quite name. Not dissatisfaction, exactly. Just a sense that it doesn't reflect who you are anymore. That's more common than you think, especially after 60, because as our lives shift, so does our sense of style. And sometimes, even a small change can feel like a deep breath. Welcome to Elder Insights, a space where we believe beauty after 60 isn't about looking younger. Today, we're exploring the French bob, a timeless haircut that's having a quiet moment again, but not because it's trending, because it fits. It flatters softening features, lifts where volume is fading, and brings back shape without needing layers of styling. And here's something most stylists won't tell you. This one cut can actually do more for your face than years of trying new products or techniques. So if you've been wondering whether a new shape might bring a little more ease and a little more you into your day, this video is for you. Like what you hear? Tap like, send it to a friend who's also ready for something lighter, and subscribe to Elder Insights for more style clarity after 60. Let's begin with why the French bob, though classic, is suddenly the most modern move you can make. Reason 1. It lifts where long hair weighs you down. Let's start with something most women don't often reconsider: the length of their hair. If you've worn your hair long for years, it might feel familiar, even comforting. But as we age, hair naturally becomes finer, lighter, and less dense. What once gave you volume and movement can now fall flat, drag your features downward, and quietly add years to your look without you realizing it. Long, heavy styles, especially those without soft layering, tend to pull the eye downward. They can stretch the face, hide the shape of your cheekbones, and make thinning at the crown more noticeable. Over time, you might feel like your hair is working against your features rather than supporting them. This is exactly where the French bob steps in and makes a difference almost instantly. The beauty of this cut lies in its simplicity. With a length that typically hits just at the chin and a soft, gently curved line, the French bob frames the face without overwhelming it. It naturally adds lift at the crown, brings lightness around the jawline, and softly enhances the bone structure that longer hair tends to hide. Why is this important after 60? Because at this stage, what we need isn't just change, it's support. A cut that flatters without extra effort, that feels fresh without feeling unfamiliar. If you've stuck with longer hair simply because it's what you've always done, you might be surprised by how energizing a new shape can feel, especially one that's designed to work with your changing hair texture, not against it. To get started, ask your stylist for a chin-length bob that follows the curve of your jaw with softness, not sharp angles. Keep the layering minimal, just enough to prevent bulk and encourage gentle movement. And when it comes to styling, keep it simple. This is a cut that's meant to fall into place with ease. No complicated tools, no extra steps. It's not about cutting more, it's about choosing smarter. And speaking of smart choices, let's look at how this cut brings out one of your most striking features: your natural silver. Reason number 2. It makes your natural silver shine without effort. Have you noticed how silver or white hair can sometimes look dull, no matter how healthy it is? It's not the color itself, it's the context. A lot of women after 60 choose to embrace their natural gray or silver. And rightly so. It's elegant, real, and freeing. But here's the thing. When silver hair is paired with the wrong cut, especially one that's too long or shapeless, it can lose its brilliance. It blends into the background instead of standing out in the best way. That's where the French bob quietly works its magic. The clean lines of the cut give structure and contrast, exactly what silver strands need to look intentional and vibrant. The shorter length also prevents the common issue of light gray hair appearing wispy or thin at the ends. Even better, it draws the eye upward, toward your face, rather than letting long lengths pull the gaze down. That shift alone can make your complexion appear brighter and your expression more defined. There's no need for special treatments, salon glosses, or constant maintenance. When your hair has the right shape, it reflects light differently. It catches the eye, and suddenly, that soft silver tone becomes an asset, not something you feel the need to cover or explain. So if your gray has been feeling flat lately, it might not be about the color at all. It might just be waiting for the right cut to bring it to life. Next, let's talk about something every woman values more with age: ease. Because beauty after 60 shouldn't come with a 3-step styling routine. It should just fit. Reason number 3. It simplifies your routine without sacrificing style. There comes a point, often somewhere after 60, when your hair routine just starts to feel like too much. You've earned the right to take it easy. Maybe it's the round brush you used to swear by, or the products that now clutter your bathroom shelf but don't seem to do much anymore. The truth is, styling long or layered hair often means more time, more heat, more energy. And let's be honest, some days, that's just not the priority. That's what makes the French bob such a refreshing shift. It works with you, not against you. Because of its length and shape, this cut falls naturally into place. You don't need curling irons, volumizing sprays, or 20 minutes with a dryer to make it look good. You just need clean hair, a simple part, and maybe a touch of smoothing cream if you'd like. The key is in the structure. The chin-length shape gives natural volume at the crown without teasing. The slightly curved ends keep the look soft but polished. And the best part? Even when it air dries, it still looks intentional. If you've ever wished your hair would just do the right thing without effort, this might be it. Now, some women worry that a shorter cut might mean more frequent trims. And yes, a bob does need light maintenance every couple of months. But when the day-to-day routine becomes easier, that trade-off feels worth it. So if your current style leaves you reaching for more tools, more time, or more frustration than joy, it might be time to simplify. Not by giving up style, but by choosing one that works smarter. And that brings us to something no one talks about enough: how the French bob supports changing hair texture, especially as strands become finer or more fragile with time. Reason number 4. It works with thinning hair, not against it. Let's talk about something that's common but rarely discussed out loud: changing hair texture. After 60, many women start noticing shifts in their hair. It feels finer, grows more slowly, and doesn't quite hold shape the way it used to. Even if you've never had thick hair, there's usually a visible difference in how it behaves. Some women try to fight this change, adding more layers, using volumizing products, or clinging to styles that once worked. But here's the truth: when hair gets thinner, more stuff isn't always the answer. Sometimes, it's the cut itself that needs to do the heavy lifting. That's where the French bob shines. Unlike layered cuts that rely on density to hold their form, the French bob is intentionally simple. Its strength lies in clean lines and shape, not bulk. That makes it an ideal match for finer hair. It creates the illusion of fullness without adding weight. The slightly rounded silhouette gives body through structure, not product. And because the length is kept short, you avoid the stringy, uneven look that longer aging hair can sometimes fall into. Instead of hiding thinning areas, this cut redirects attention to your eyes, your cheekbones, your smile. It reframes, not covers up. And for women with natural waves or slight curl, the bob allows just enough movement without becoming puffy or shapeless. Whether you let it air dry or give it a quick brush through, it holds together with ease. You don't have to fight your hair. You just have to give it the right shape to thrive in its current state. And speaking of thriving, let's finish by looking at the subtle confidence that comes when your haircut finally feels like you again. Reason number 5, it reflects who you are now without saying a word. Sometimes, change doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to feel true. You've lived through phases, styles that suited who you were at 40, at 50. But who you are now might be quieter, clearer, more certain. And your haircut? It can reflect that without making a big announcement. That's part of what makes the French bob so appealing. It doesn't scream for attention. It's not edgy or flashy, but it communicates something quietly powerful, that you know what suits you. The clean, intentional shape gives the impression of effort, even when very little was needed. And that's exactly the kind of elegance many women after 60 begin to value most. You might notice it when you walk past a window and catch your reflection, or when someone says, "You look different, but I can't quite place why." That's when you know the change was the right one. Because here's the truth. When your outer look aligns with your inner sense of self, everything feels a little more at ease. You stop tugging at your hair. You stop wondering if it's too much or not enough. You simply move through your day feeling like yourself. The French bob doesn't try to reinvent you. It respects where you've been and highlights where you are now. And that quiet alignment between how you look and how you feel, that's where real confidence lives. So if you've been sitting with that quiet feeling that your current style no longer fits, not badly, just not quite right, this might be the sign you've been waiting for. Let's wrap up by bringing everything together and gently reminding ourselves, it was never about the cut itself. It was about choosing something that finally feels right for you. Choosing a new haircut isn't just about what looks good on paper. It's about noticing that quiet shift inside, the one that says, "I'm ready for something that fits me better now." Maybe you've worn the same style for decades. Maybe you've changed it a few times, hoping to find something that sticks. Either way, the most important part isn't the length or the shape. It's how the cut makes you feel. The French bob isn't a trend. It's a timeless option that happens to line up beautifully with where many women find themselves after 60. Clearer, softer, stronger in the quietest way. It lifts your features, works with your natural texture, supports silver strands, and simplifies your routine without ever asking you to become someone you're not. Confidence doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from choosing less, but choosing well. So if any part of today's video resonated with you, we'd love to know which part spoke to you most. Leave us a comment below. And remember, you don't need a bold change to feel different. Sometimes just a fresh shape is enough. If this video helped you see your hair and your reflection in a new light, go ahead and like it, share it with someone who's been thinking about a change, and subscribe to Elder Insights for more thoughtful style advice after 60. We'll see you in the next one.